this is a bit of an unusual video, so if you're already happy with your life and everything's going good and you're working on your boat and taking pictures and doing all the stuff that people do, there's no need to watch this video. So I suggest that you just turn it off now. But if you're a person who is grasping with the problem of self-happiness in every moment of your life, then you might want to watch this, because the reason I'm making this video, I don't normally bother with this sort of stuff because I figured there's plenty of books out there that you can read that can get you out of your problems of yourself into a better state of consciousness. There's many books written about this. Yet I still see people, the vast majority of videos that I watch on YouTube, the people talking about the present state of the world and all the rest of it, that many of them are suffering from a personal enlightenment problem, a personal happiness problem. They're not 100% happy all the time. And the example that I saw this morning is this Peterson fella. And you'll notice that he makes very long videos. And the videos are complex and use very many different words that I don't use. And these words tend to get in the way, if you like. And I've noticed that, and in this particular video I watched this morning, he's talking to another fellow who seems to be a bit more happy than he is. And he laughs a bit more and he smiles a bit more. And yet I also felt there was a little bit of a problem with this guy, you know, because he's smiling too much. Jordan Peterson has got the straight face of reality, and I admire him for that. And yet the other guy, as soon as he's turned on, he's got a stiff face like this, yeah? And he's smiling and everything, oh yes, I know that, I know that. He's never got an inquiring mind, his face is never relaxed in normality. And so there's another issue there. Yet he seems to be happy, he seems to have grasped what but he's also using large words, okay? And one thing that both of these two characters are trying to do is they're trying to maintain credibility with the intellectual university set, that's what I'd say. So they haven't completely thrown away all the nonsense words that you learn at university. And, you know, the sociological words and so on. And many of the papers that have been written on subjects of evolution, Darwinism and so on, creationism, all these things, they are using these kind of words and from the papers. And these papers are written by people who have not really broken through the personal problem, so that they become perfectly functioning human beings who can talk in front of the camera without the words becoming messed up in their mouth, without resorting to complex devices, without confusing the audience with words. Okay. Now wait a minute, I'm going to pause the video and then I'm going to start again.
Where's the door?
Well, that's a really interesting interlude, because what happened was I took the video that I just made, the introduction, right at the beginning you saw, and I came to put it onto my computer, and when I went to find a place to put it, I found this other video called Why We Lie. And I realized, and I used it as a starting point to make this new video, and I realized that this is a video that hadn't completed, that it's been made, it's half finished, and hadn't been continued. And so I realized, wow, this must be the introduction to what I'm doing now. And you'll see on the table here, there's some unfinished food here. And this is a sign. I don't know why it's here, why I left it here, and it hasn't been touched for a while. To show that there's some unfinished food that I created some time ago, and now we're going to make it part of this video. And the subject matter, why we lie, is an important part of what I'm going to talk about here. That's enough. Next video. Okay, now personal happiness. The way the world works is this. Man has a function here on the planet. And that function is to repair any error that occurs on the way the planet moves, as the planet moves from the past into the future through the events that are happening. An error can occur that only man can deal with. So man's job is to do the error correction of the planet, if you like. And that's why he has the biggest brain and the most intelligence, because the error is complex and he needs to simplify matters to bring everything correct. Now, I'll give you an example. Let's say that a tree falls into an important river system, and the tree is a very large tree. The river system has been without this tree in it for maybe hundreds of years, or 20 years, or however long time. And the nature in this area has become accustomed to a certain amount of water, and you'll see that nature is a very long-term thing, and if you disturb the water anywhere, the consequences for all of nature, first the vegetation and the creatures that have nature, everything is very severe. So it's the greatest crime, if you like, to interfere with the water in nature. And so what man would do, living in his natural environment, there would be some men near the stream living there. Men, when I say men, I mean ladies and gentlemen. And one of the gentlemen would be wandering around this particular time, come to the river, and he would see, aha, the tree has fallen in the river. Now, if the man was lost in his own error, if you like, if he was unhappy and everything, he'd be looking down, walking past, he wouldn't be able to touch the tree, he'd be too lazy to touch the tree for a start. And so he wouldn't do anything about it. But if he was a fully functioning, enlightened, happy human being, he would say, wow, what a wonderful benefit nature has provided man with, because there's now this big tree that man didn't need to cut down or nothing. He just has it. It's a gift from nature. Okay. So what men would then do would be to go back to the village, get as many people as possible, and deal with the tree. Now, as well as dealing with the tree, he's dealing with the tree not only for his own selfish ends, if you like. It's not selfish ends, it's hard work dealing with the tree. He's dealing it on behalf of the whole of nature, because the tree needs to be moved. It's blocking the stream, it's causing problems and so on. And so what he does is he moves the tree, and then he starts to split the tree, break it up into pieces, and then he can make a temple out of it, to nature, if you like. A meeting house that people can go into, or a large canoe or something that he could travel on the river with. So it's just an example, you know. There's all sorts of things like this. An animal might get trapped, and it's only a man who can free him with his arms and legs and fingers and so on. And so, you know, a man will appear and will help the animal. A dog, you know, you've seen these dogs with a bucket stuck on their head. They can't get their head out of the bucket or something like that. What's a dog going to do? You know? Man's made a trap, and so the dog has fallen into it. Now, you'll see in this example, there's the example of the man who is filled with error in his own brain. His own brain is not able to see reality. Now, because he just walks past the tree, he doesn't even see it. How's that? Well, it's a very important mechanism in nature, because what nature says is, man's job as the error or the problem solver is to first of all solve the problem at the most basic level. And so there cannot be a problem inside man's brain, inside his head, inside his intellect and his understanding, and his memory. There cannot be a problem there. Otherwise he cannot fix the outside world properly. Okay, so nature, when a man starts to fall into error, he makes a wrong conclusion, starts to do things wrong in a wrong way. And what by wrong is a way which is against nature. What happens is nature moves his vision from being outside, looking into the real world, the reality, into looking inside, into his own mind, because that's where the error lies. And until such time as that error is fixed, he can never look out again. And so this is what's called the fallen state of man, which is what's talked about in many religious books. The Bible, Buddhism discusses it. All the religions are concerned with the movement of man from a fallen state into an enlightened state. And the enlightened state is just his normal, everyday self. That's all it is. And the religions say, know thyself. This was the Greek. The Greeks got their wisdom from the Egyptians. Okay? The Egyptians got their wisdom probably from the Hindus, and the Hindus and the Chinese. The oldest wisdom is the Chinese wisdom. And so it was always the same. The subject was the same. It was know yourself. And until you know yourself fully and correct the error inside yourself, there's nothing you can really do about the outside world that won't destroy it. And you can see that that's what's happened with the planet, because a person who knows himself and is perfectly happy and not committing any crimes against nature, which will cause nature to turn their sight inwards. These people don't destroy the planet. These people are happy enough just to live simple lives and help nature and humanity to try to evolve and come to the fruition, if you like, of the thousands of years that man has been on this journey to enlightenment, if you like, which is just personal happiness. That's all it is. And I'd like to say that once one achieves personal happiness, there are other levels to go through. One has to go through couple consciousness, where one becomes one as a couple, and then one as a family group, and then one as a nation. And this is a very, very, very long journey. And it can only be achieved once personal enlightenment, personal happiness is achieved by all members of a couple, a group, a family, a nation, and so on. Okay, so a lot of work involved. Now, the first step is personal happiness. So it's necessary to be happy. And a very important message was given to humanity by the Buddha. And Mooney, I don't know the names. Anyway, the message that he brought was desire leads to suffering. Now, desire is wanting something to be other than what it is, okay? Because what it is the reality of a situation. And to desire requires projection into the future. Wouldn't it be nice if I had a big car? Wouldn't it be nice if I had a partner? Wouldn't it be nice if I wasn't hungry? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Okay, so there's wouldn't it be nice if all these extra things might come. But the other thing is, wouldn't it be nice if I could lose my suffering, if I'd lose my unhappiness? You don't accept what you are in the moment. You want to be different, but you are that. Okay. So there's no escaping from reality. Reality is that which is. And most of us have a veil over our eyes and we cannot actually see the objects in front of us. And there comes a point where we look and it all resolves, and that is the end of the world for each of us. The world dissolves inside our mind and we see the true reality. Not the world is what we think is out there, because we've been seeing it through our own error, our own interior problem, the problem of our brain and our mind. Now, if you're all in your brain and all in your mind, you'll think I am too, and you won't see any difference between me and you. I'll just see him like the same as you. But I can guarantee you that I'm not. I don't actually see anything except the true reality at all times. This reality never leaves my mind. And I'm not going into my brain into complex theories to actually speak to you about what I'm speaking to you. What I'm speaking to you about is coming straight through me, because it's clear, it's being resolved in my brain, there's no error in my brain, and so it's coming clear through to you. That's how it works. And every single one of you can have that facility. Now, in that facility, in that reality, there's no suffering, there's no unhappiness. It's not like, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could do that. You're doing it. We're making this video. We're talking together. In this moment, I'm drinking this water. It tastes very nice. I don't need to anticipate the moment. I'm not actually desiring to drink this water. The water is just here. I could take a piece of this cheese and I could just eat it. It's not like I'm thinking, maybe I like a piece of cheese now, maybe I won't like a piece of cheese now. Is it more effort now to go and get a piece of cheese, or should I get up and get a piece of cheese now and eat it in a few minutes' time? There's none of that. The hands simply move, and if it's time to move it, we move it. And all of this is happening completely automatically. We can't help ourselves. It's only our mind that thinks it controls itself, because it seems to control itself because it's got an error inside, and it must seem this way, it has to see itself this way to actually work on its error. And that's what it does. It ferrets around, it tries to find ways to make itself happy. And at some point, the individual, when they're ready to give up, what it is that's holding them back, when they say, I've had enough, I want to see the truth, I want to see the reality, I'm sick and tired of playing games. At that point they may come across this video, and this video may be a key to actually break through and give them that first revelation of a reality, true reality, which is not part of the fog of the brain. And in that moment I can remember back to when that happened to me, and my vision just sort of seemed to dissolve, and their reality came in, and I had that experience. And then I had an experience where I lost the reality, came back into it, lost it, came back into it, and finally I was able to resolve the error completely, so I'm in it all the time. And you know, I use books to, like you might use this video to find a way into reality. I use the teachings of Krishnamurti. I read his books to find, when I was trying to find my way from that fog state into the reality. And his teachings were able to give me the final key, if you like, to break through the intellectual mind, because it's an intellectual problem. Yeah? We've made a mistake. We think the world is a certain way. We have theories that we aspire to. You know, a lot of people can find enlightenment and then they can go and read a whole load of spiritual books and they can lose it again forever because now you add all this other complexity to the simple experience of happiness that you had. You now go and read the Bible or something, and instead of just like taking from it what you know, you try to project the words into something you can more fully understand before you've had the experience of what the people in the Bible are talking about, because these are great prophets, they're people who've been on the journey longer than you've been. And I think this is Jordan Peterson's problem, is that he probably found his way once upon a time, and then he started to study all the spiritual writings, and now he's a bit lost and confused. He's like a white boy lost in the blues, if you know this song. And, but it's good because it will resolve in the end, and he will see through it all in the end. And he'll see it's necessary to discard all our intellectual ideas and notions and come to something which is true to reality. Now, when we achieve that, when we're actually happy in ourselves and we're seeing reality, we're then able to help that reality to stay real and help it to further the aims and the objectives of nature. And the aims and objectives of nature are really to correct the error in everybody's brains so everybody can see alike. And you'll see that those people who are enlightened, they all see the world in the same way. They don't see it differently. And the ones who are lost in their brain, they all, each and every one of them, have a different reality. And it's only those ones who can agree on some shared ideal, some hypothesis that they all share. Only those people can, if you like, they have a reality. It's not, they don't all share it, but they share some part of it. And this is a fake reality. It's not a reality at all. It's a false idea and hypothesis that is untrue. And these people are destroying the planet. These people are the big problem in the world. And it's our job to put them in their place, to say, no, don't do that, that's wrong, and don't think that. And it's our job to correct them. All those people who have come into the one reality, the one true reality, it's their job to correct them. And you'll see that there's a war, because it's really the difference between good and evil.
Where is the door? Where is the door? Where is the door to everything important? Where is the door? Where is the door to everything important? Where is the door to hear our innocent flow? Where is the door?
I ran too. I ran. Oh my God, I ran. They all ran. Running away. India. Oh, that's where I ran. Civil society. Please. Come in again, please. Come in, please. With Russia. China. US on the knees.